It started good, it ended good, it was uneven in other parts, but the women's match elevated to being a pretty decent overall show. I'm John Renton with my review, AEW Dynamite, and yeah, there were some parts I did not like on this show, and I'm going to talk about that when I get to them. You probably can guess what I didn't like, but I'd love to know what you guys have to say in the comments. What I did like is they started off with a package on Top Flight. Bars are 21 and 19, and they already have the double team moves down pat, and they had an impressive match on Dark, and I can't wait to see what these young men do in the future. They took on the Young Bucks. And Top Flight had BLM armbands on them, and good job there. Great, way to remind everybody that Black lives do matter and all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. I love that shirt. I need to get that shirt at some point. And there was the typical flippy shit. You're going to get that in a Young Bucks match. Top Flight had a good showing here with some really good double team moves. They were trained by Ken Anderson and Molly Holly, so they have, a good, upbringing in wrestling. The Bucks were more heelish here. Flight, did some good dives, a couple close near falls, but eventually BTE triggered. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And then TH2 attacked Top Flight, so I think there's no doubt Top Flight are going to be signed by AEW pretty soon. And then the Bucks run them off. We then get the Inner Circle slays Las Vegas. I'm going to say right now that I'm very, very down on anything that Jericho is in, because to me it's just bullshit comedy and it's not anything funny, and this is just him basically assing off on camera. I didn't find this funny. I wouldn't have found this funny in WWE. Yes, I like the Festival of Friendship stuff, because it was overdone, but it led to a good story. It led to him and Kevin Owens, unfortunately, kind of having the legs cut out from under them during their feud. But this would have been bad on WWE programming. This would have been bad no matter what program it was on. This was just dog shit. This was complete trash. This is not doing anything for MJF. I did not find this funny. If there are people that found this funny, that's fine. I didn't. I'm not going to dwell too much on it, but you had strippers, you had drink debates, shots of Everclear. Oh, my insides. Oh, my insides. I'm not supposed to get Everclear in them. Everything is not wonderful now. If you get that reference, I love you guys. All while Hager and Wardlow just stare at each other. And then Conan gets everyone high in a limo. Hager is in familiar territory, getting high under a wrestling contract. And yeah, this was not good. This was not good at all. Unfortunately, it gets worse. We get a Director X video. I don't know what the fuck this is. Various talents, various AEW wrestlers talking about the success of AEW, that nobody gave them a shot to have the company succeed. Nyla Rose smashes a windshield, talks about being transgender, and by the way, if you're going to, knock her for being that, get the fuck off my channel, I don't want you here. Then we get Britt talking about being a doctor and also a wrestler of the Bucks, various others. And then Brandy acting like she had something to do with AEW's success. AEW succeeds on television in spite of her, because she's not any good as an on-screen performer. Now, maybe she's good behind the scenes, and that's where she should be. She shouldn't be on television at all. But this was what it was. Cool. It's great to see that AEW is actually getting some kind of success, because the wrestlers deserve it. However I feel about, some members on the roster, I want this to be a viable alternative to get big ratings. $1.5 million, $2 million. I want them to rise up and do some great things. And I've enjoyed AEW for the most part since its inception. I'm talking about its inception on TNT. Some of their pay-per-views have been uneven to good. And actually, I've enjoyed the AEW product for the most part, even with the dips. Jon Moxley promo, he talks about why he's champion for so long. His dad, basically inspired him. It's like, we are the good guys. And I've got a pregnant wife at home. Just dropping that right there. Congratulations to Jon Moxley and Renee Young. Good on them. Can't wait to see all the stupid fanfic and all the people get all, happy and everything, and, write all these goddamn things like they did for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins and a whole... Wrestling fans can be kind of creepy with how they act about, their favorite wrestlers having kids. It's a bit weird. But congratulations to Jon Moxley and Renee Young. I know they'll make great parents. They are perfect for each other. Good on them. And then Moxley says that he's holding 2 titles on 2 continents. He is the current IWGP US champion, though I don't think he's going to hold it for long. I think once Wrestle Kingdom comes along, because I think he's losing it to Omega on the 2nd, the AEW championship, and then he's going to lose the US championship to Kenta or somebody at Wrestle Kingdom. And the contract signing is going to be tonight, and it's Winter is Coming, the AEW on December 2nd. Then Miro joins commentary for Orange Cassidy, versus Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford. Penelope just being a bit distracting. Seriously, she's impressive in the ring, especially for how she's come along. And yeah, her and Kip, they make a pretty damn dynamite couple off screen and also on screen. Miro, however, and I'm so happy that he is in AEW able to do what he can do, but this has not been a good run for him so far. He was not good on commentary. I do not care for Orange Cassidy. Kip Sabian is fine, but I'm done with the Orange Cassidy antics. They're the same damn antics. It's the same shit. At one point, Miro is saying, don't fall, saying that to Kip. Kip unfortunately slips a little bit later. Accidents happen, but it was a bit noticeable and a bit awkward. I believe it's the old Dusty Rhodes line, don't do shit you don't know how to do. And yeah, we get the mousetrap pin, 1, 2, 3. Miro then runs down and attacks Orange Cassidy, and then the best friends run down, not being at ringside, they run him off. Why weren't the best friends at ringside? Why wasn't Trent there? Trent's the talented one out of the group. I don't know why this feud's happening, besides the fact that it's over an arcade game, and I don't care. We then get Giovanni hosting the Moxley Omega contract signing. Winter is coming. Omega has the overly done entrance with 2 women that are carrying brooms there, and it was hard for me to tell which one was the wooden object. And then Moxley is laid out backstage. He's got a bloody nose, got all this, and Omega says, oh, first it was an elbow, and then it was this, and stuff like that. Well, you're not going to run him away from me December 2nd. I did it better than Omega did. The sad thing is probably still the best Omega promo that he's done in AEW. And he signs a contract. Cool. Okay, then we get Inner Circle Slays Vegas again. They got an Elvis impersonator. Sammy nearly cuts himself. Don't cut yourself. Listen to Elvis. Was an actual line said by Chris Jericho. Former multi-time Intercontinental Champion, former multi-time World Champion, competed in the Tokyo Dome multiple times. Now, listen to Elvis. This is what Chris Jericho, the goddamn, motherfucking so fucking done talent that he is. I can't even, describe the level of disdain I have for anything that Chris Jericho does now. It's not funny. It's not elevating anybody. This is bringing MJF way down. Santana and Ortiz don't mean anything. Hager never meant anything anyway because he's bland as white bread. Sammy doesn't really mean anything, though he's pretty damn good in the ring. This is just bullshit. And then, they're the next morning they're all hung over. MJF has stuff written on him, on his forehead. There's weird horror music-like stuff. What the hell's going on? Sammy has 3 wives. And this is an actual line from Santana. I've always wanted a Mormon friend. It's like, well, let's see. Who invited all the farm animals? Because Ortiz was feeding some roosters that just happened to be there. And Hornswoggle was crying in a diaper. If this was on WWE programming in any form, this would be killed, and rightfully so. And this was fucking shit. This was bad. This was not good for AEW. There's comedy, and then there's bullshit. This was bullshit. They have drug MJF way down by this point. And MJF is a really good talent with a lot of upside. This was shit. Jericho then basically joins commentary to say, we're going to beat people up, and they're going to face SCU next week. We then get Kingston joining commentary for Blade with the Butcher and the Bunny. And the Bunny, Jesus Christ. Blade is very lucky. I will say that much. And Blade took on Pac, the bastard. And because Butcher and Blade competed in that, that bunkhouse match, Blade had, a bandage on him. And a bandage on his head. And JR says he's out here with a throbbing head from last week. Actual line from JR. Horny JR goes across all planes. Pac was very aggressive. He got distracted multiple times by Butcher and then Bunny. Allie gets in on choking action during the commercial. Match was fine. Big superplex by Pac. They both sold it. That was good stuff. Distraction attempts. Shooting star into the brutalizer for the win. And then they beat him up. And then Eddie starts cutting. Butcher attacks Pac when he's trying to cut a promo. Eddie comes in. I'm going to put you through the gauntlet. Phoenix runs in and trips trying to do his goddamn run-in. And then here's Penta. And he's going to take out Phoenix and Pac. No. He goes to swing at Eddie Kingston. Not very well. And Butcher and Blade chases them off. Death Triangle is back. That group that was around for only a little bit until the pandemic hit. But hey, whatever. At least it's something. We can get 6-man tags and Allie can be there, being distracting. We then get Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb, NWA Women's Championship match. I will say right now, go out of your way to check this out. It was just as good as previous matches they've had. Maybe not quite as good as the match I had on Primetime Live where Serena Deeb beat Thunder Rosa, but still very good. JR though says one line, and I'm not even going to go into a misogynistic like thing, but JR just throws a line out there for no reason. AEW heels, do they do bake sales? JR, this is not the 1960s. Come on, JR. What the fuck? If you don't care about the women, just sit out of the goddamn thing, man. It's his attempts at being funny, and they just don't fucking work. Big fight feel, good wrestling, good mat wrestling by both. Good, great strikes, arm drags. Rosa got a little cocky, got hit with a few dragon screws, and a spear on the apron. Don't know why. It's got stuff with the apron spots. Drop kick outside. Reba distracts, and then Britt attacks Thunder Rosa on the ramp or on the little stage area. And then there's a powerbomb for 2, and then they do more stuff where Thunder Rosa's clearly out of it, but trying to go on autopilot to beat Serena Deeb, but eventually falls to a face-first buster, 1, 2, 3. And then Rosa attacks Britt, who's seemingly back out at ringside, even though she ran to the back. So I guess she ran out and then ran back around and did that, and so they could do their, pull apart. I'm excited to see Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. That should be interesting. Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb versus Britt Baker and Reba may not be all that bad. But this is good. At least they're doing something with the women. I like that. What I didn't like was John Silver being on about 18 cups of coffee. And John Silver's not bad in the ring, but I don't think he's all that funny. I don't watch Being the Elite. I don't care to watch Being the Elite. Other people do. That's fine. Anna Jay is going to face Hikaru Shida next week. Referencing the fact that when Anna Jay was a rookie, Shida took advantage of her. Well, she's not a rookie anymore. Yeah, she's in a group that isn't all that good, in my opinion. But Anna Jay versus Shida, I'm excited to see. Hopefully it'll get some decent time. Give it 10 minutes. I think these two women can tell a pretty good story. Don't have Anna Jay beat Shida. Please don't. Anna Jay's not ready yet. Don't have her beat Shida. And next week, we're getting that match. We're getting Pac and Phoenix versus Butcher and Blade. Hobbs is in action. Jericho and Hagar versus SCU. Darby is in on top of an old church. I don't know why Darby does this stuff. Why'd he light himself on fire while riding his skateboard? Why? Cage and Starks with Taz versus Darby and Cody. With Arn. Arn gets kicked out a little bit later. Cody's entrance is ridiculous. Massive ego stroking. Cage is just not that good. The match is fine. We get a hot tag to Darby. Cage superplexes Darby and then Starks a little bit later. Code Red to Cage, and then a Crossroads to Ricky. But eventually, Avalanche Drill Claw 1, 2, 3, and Cage gets the victory. They start the beatdown. Here's Will Hobbs. He picks up the FTW Championship and cracks Cody over the head with it. And he's going to join Team Taz. Okay, cool. I'm not against it. It is what it is. It wasn't a bad show, but there was just some about it. Let me know what you guys have to say in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.